And we're live. Hello, everyone. Glad you guys. Oh, let me. There you go. Let me make it wide real quick. So this will be my new thing. I'm planning to be live streaming at least once a week, or probably. Let's be honest with y'all, probably twice a month, most realistically. I'm trying to be consistent. We're gonna do at least twice a month, if not four times. And in this show, this will be where I get to show you guys what's going on with the real estate market here in Oklahoma, as well as I'll be interviewing other business owners, talking about the financing side and all that other good stuff you guys want to know. And I'll be giving you guys tips on buying or selling real estate. So, with that said, I'm your local real estate agent as well as investor, and let's get after it. So, today we're going over the Oklahoma real estate market. I'm going to talk about how many new listings we have, what's the days on market, what the average home is selling for and being listed for, as well as how the real estate market's looking. So let's get right into it. So you take a look at this graph here. Let me add myself here. Oh, sorry. So we do this. Add to screen here. Bear with me. Add to stream. There you go. Okay, perfect. So you see, compared to like 6 7 months ago, the amount of listings we have actually on the market has dipped drastically. So we see we were at a high. I believe this is back in February. We see we're close to about 3,400 listings. This is people trying to take advantage of the market, right? Because as we know, during COVID, a couple months back, the real estate market was hot. We had so many new listings, so many people taking advantage of the high sales price, investors and home sellers alike, just taking advantage of the fact that interest rates were good and we were seeing homes go with multiple offers, get multiple offers and selling for 20 grand over listing price. And now that the interest rates have came up, of course, that's not happening as much. And there's a lot less people putting their home on the market with that in mind. Next slide, we'll look at the days on market, which will really show you guys just how much things have changed since April. So we see here that that the average days on market, yeah, like I said, during that time of like basically January to May, prime time, really January to like June here, the average house you would see it on the market for 5 days on average, right? Sometimes even less. We've seen houses sell after just one day with multiple offers. I mean, shit, it was crazy, right? So yeah, and we see a huge increase, and this is in the month of November. That now the time has more than doubled for homes to sell. Let me get my closer here to you. Is on mic on? Yeah, it is. Okay, good. Just making sure. Okay. Um, yeah, so we see the average time to sell a home has pretty much more than doubled. We're at about 13 days, and it seems like it's still only going up, which is kind of crazy. So compared to that time of April, May, June, and January, now it's taking a lot longer to sell homes. Okay, next thing, let's look at closed sales. You can see this looks like a stock market graph. Honestly, it's kind of crazy how compared to November to January, you just see just a huge just decrease in the amount of homes that actually got sold. And I think it's crazy to kind of visualize it, the fact that wow, the interest rates have that huge impact on the housing market, because as we know, the interest rates used to be on average about 5%. At 7.5% now, that's like the average. People are just not buying homes like they were, and people are not selling homes like they were because yeah, it's rough. It is rough out here. Let's look at the most important here, the average sold price. This is what everyone wants to know. I won't keep you guys waiting. So you notice that the average sales price obviously goes up from 2019 to 2022. Of course, the housing market houses always gain value. We know this, and this is no exception. So, like I said, during COVID, that time January to May, the prices were all the way up, hitting almost 260 grand, and then now we see a huge dip all the way down to 240. That is during October, August time, and then In November, they went up a little bit right here, but it's your safe bet is that houses, they're taking a lot longer to sell. They're selling for not nearly as much as they used to be, and the market is definitely slowing down with that. And the sellers are pretty sad; they're not getting as much as they were, but this would be expected with higher interest rates, of course, right? Okay, last thing here, Oklahoma City. So this will be an in-depth look at Oklahoma City and what's going on there. Let's take a look here. So here in Oklahoma City, you can see that the month of November, we'll just look at single family. I'm not really into the townhouse condo. You can take a look at that pause video here if you want to take a look at those stats. But going into here for just Oklahoma City, no other cities involved, we got a total of 488 new listings, 411 pending sales, and 406 closed sales. And this is all just for the month of November. What's interesting to me is this year compared to last year is that the average list price to received went down drastically. So it went from, on average, houses were getting about 100% of the list price. Now they're only getting about 98.5% of list price. Okay. So for instance, if a market goes on the, if a house goes on the market for 100 grand, you'd expect to get either all of that or more than that, right? Now we're seeing that same 100 grand house that's going on the market, they'll either get at most of that or a little bit below that, might get 95 grand as well so far, 90 grand. They're not getting the full asking price that they were originally because of the rising interest rates, which again kind of shows the point that real estate has slowed down. Is it still the worst time in the world to sell? No, this isn't nearly as bad as 2015 or something like that, right? So that's kind of what that is showing. Let's get into the last one here. That's about it. Here's the slides one more time if you want to take a look at it. For anyone watching here, we got bam, bam, bam. Like I said, this is crazy to visualize how so much has changed from COVID to now. And the last 6 months has been crazy. If you ask me, the honest truth is I really see the market shifting, but is it still a horrible time to sell? Absolutely not. I mean, you want to wait another year? Yes, it probably will be. Yeah, I wouldn't sell then, but I would say with this in mind that if a seller wants to sell, his best bet would be to hit it in the summer, most likely. Closed sales, there's a lot less sales happening, of course, with houses selling for less. Sellers aren't wanting to sell. And whenever there's not that much people wanting to buy homes, of course, the days on market will be a lot more higher. And of course, with sellers getting less money, they're not going to be as motivated to sell. We're seeing right now in this real estate market that there's a lot more of sellers giving buyers concessions, which is covering their closing costs, for example, willing to be more negotiable, where that would never happen. Like you see that 5 months ago, if a buyer tries to ask them to cover their closing costs, it was like, "Ooh, you're not getting that, pal." That was basically impossible. It just wasn't happening. But now you're starting to see a lot more of that. So this is actually the ideal market, I would say, for buyers, even though the interest rates are bad. The reason being is because even though the interest rates aren't as good, you could get a great deal right now and just refinance the home later. So you can essentially get a home that would have. So let's say you have a 200 grand home, right? Instead of in the previous market, you probably have to put about 220 to get the home because so many people wanted that home. Now you can get that same home for probably 190, 180 even, since there's not that many people willing to buy. You get the home at 180 at 7% interest. That's a whole heck of a lot better than getting that same home at a 6%, 5% interest rate, but you have to pay 220, 230 for it. So I think that's something to consider. And of course, there's always the option to refinance later on, depending on multiple factors, depending on the market goes, your credit score, all that good stuff. But yeah. This. Okay. With that all in mind, I really would like to say a huge thank you to everyone who's saw this video or is going to watch this video. Thanks for showing up in the live, and I plan to do the next one next week will be even better. We're going to be interviewing some business owners. That's the plan. And yeah, I hope this you guys got value out of this. Hope everyone is having an amazing day. I know we got the New Year's coming up, so try not to party too hard, y'all, and stay safe and God bless. Thank you. Bye bye.